Stu here with V4 on how to get CP very quickly to make your champion stronger so you can do everything in the game and so you can also compete with everybody on the rankings, right? Everybody's climbing up here. As you can see for Enchantress on my server, Evelyn for US, I am ranked number 6 overall for Enchantress on level. And then as far as CP, I am number 8. So I'm trying to climb up as fast as possible. I'm far behind. Even though I'm 8, I'm at 95,000. The top person's at 130,000. That's okay. We're learning how to get up there, right? We're learning how to make your champion stronger, how to do it quickly. Right now, you can see me grinding. So this is what I did to overnight grind to get, because I need coin now. Coin is a big thing later on. You use, every little increment in this game. You try to just up things to get a small increase. And then over time, they all add up. There are many things to do, and that's what we're going to go over. We're going to go over in this video. So the gold I'm getting right now, I turned off all my skills. If you go over here to your active skills, go down the bottom right, you can turn them on, turn them off. You see off on it. And then overnight, I could grind at a higher level, but you know how you got to load up on your pots, and then you got to make sure you have space for it. So what I did is I took all these spots, put them in my storage, so I didn't have hardly anything in my inventory because I needed room for all this gear I'm going to get. And I already ate a whole bunch of this gear, but we're not going to use the gear in this fashion right now. We're going to use the leftover gear for it, but what we're going to show is everything we can do with item sets. We're going to talk about the Abyss, and then we're going to talk about Lunatra and how we're going to go in there in raids and guilds and get a whole bunch of good items, but to raise our CP. But really, item sets, imprints, we go into the Abyss to get some books, and to do our soul stones are the best ways for you to jump it up a lot. But there are things you need to know about it that I didn't even know about it, that I didn't pay attention to gear here because it doesn't tell you. All this gear that you see in my inventory, we can actually use for item sets, but it doesn't pop up because we need to rank it up. And we'll go over that in a second. Let me go back to where we are with this farming. So I'm overnight farming, and I'm killing it about, however many seconds, maybe 3 seconds for 8,499 experience. Over 1 hour would be like 10 million experience. And then the coin that I'm getting over an hour's time would be somewhere around 200,000. So that's not too bad for me. I think that's pretty good. Plus we're getting the items we need, and we're killing these champions in this area to fill out our research, right? Our champion research, which I've already done it here. We've already killed so many of these guys that increase, right? Everything gives a small, minor increase to our overall account and makes us stronger. So it works out well for me. If there is a better way to do this, please let me know down below. Let us know in the comments down below if there's a better way to farm this way overnight. So now I'm just going to go into another area the next night, get the same, get the new kind of gear, and you can look at the loot table. If you want to know what's dropping for this area, say we're fighting these champions, there's a more in-depth loot table. Yes, we know we can get this information here. We know we're going to fight whatever we're fighting. We're fighting these guys right here. So you can see that in anything that we do, we're going to get soul shards, and we're going to talk about those. We need those soul shards. We need these soul stones because the soul stones increase your CP by a lot. They give you a lot of stats, and then we need all this gear, and we also need the scrolls to level up this gear. Plus the black octopus coins are really nice because this is where we can get some cool accessories. Whenever we go over here to the exchange, we can get some really good accessories. So it's not bad getting these as well. You get a lot of these also by going through demons. That's where you get most of your accessory stuff from. But hey, we get this from grinding overnight or just normal grinding. So there you can see where you get things from. Okay, let's jump over here to the item sets. So the item sets, I didn't know. I was just eating my gear like you normally would do, right? We would just feed it over here to unlock potential to make these stronger and stronger, which is fine. You want to do that. But you also, to get a huge CP increase, you want to start doing these item sets. And as you can tell, if you do it with the rares, you get a huge jump. Like this is the biggest jump in the game you can do if you can get these done. Say you were going to whale out, like really, obviously I haven't because you don't see me unlocking all these. If you were going to really whale out, you would buy these from anybody selling them or wherever you need to farm them, level them up to +6, which these are much harder to do. The +3 are easy. If you haven't noticed, when you level up some gear, it can break, and once it breaks, it's gone. So this game has a lot of failure rate in here too, a lot of RNG failure rate to where you've got to up gear. Now these earlier ones are much easier to do. As you can see, it keeps going, going and going. So I've completed 2 already. +3 attack, +7 defense. Doesn't look like a lot because we haven't done that much, but once we start going more and more, you'll see. Okay, let's look over here at the gear though. So the gear I have in my inventory, you wouldn't know it was used for that. I didn't know it was used for that because I didn't up it. So this amateur staff right here, we've got other amateur weapons. Some of it we can use as anything, like right here for these weapons. This substitute, hit the substitute button. We can use any kind of amateur weapon on this one whatsoever. We need to get the next amateur weapon up to +3, +4, +5, and then we're gonna get crit hit +5. Now these down here, as we go further, the substitutes might be harder. Like this one is just a plain, so look at the substitute on this one. Amateur Warhammer, and that's it. But we have an amateur Warhammer, and we've got probably this amateur sword, so we need to take it to +5, and we're gonna get human attack of 30. That's pretty big. So all this adds up, but we just can't see it yet because we have to, and I didn't know this, we have to up it up. We have to increase it, right? We have to increase it, enhance it. So we're gonna go over here to enhance. We're going to, is this the right side? Okay, there we go. So we're gonna enhance it up to, we needed one at 3, I think it was. And then we needed one at, what was it, 4 or 5? 4. I hope I'm not overdoing it. All right, let's go back and check. So now that we've upped it, now it's going to tell us that we have it available. So we're going to register that one, register this one. Now we're going to do one more to +5, and then we can also start on this necklaces. I guess we need these necklaces. Like I can do all this right now because I just farmed overnight to get tons of pieces of this. Now I can go to the next area wherever I need to go to get more items. But it should be very easy for me to clear out, what, this amateur, 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 amateur. Okay, so now it's getting to the faithful set. So I should be able to clear out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All 12 of these, as long as I have enough scrolls to level them all up, right? As long as I have enough scrolls to level all this up. And scrolls wise, I'd have to probably go look at my inventory. I've got more, but they're not unlimited, right? They are not unlimited, so we need to find a way to get these. Obviously, they drop. They drop here, they drop pretty much in everything we do. You can look at the loot tables, but maybe there's an easier way to get these. I know we can make these later on too, so hold on to everything. Hold on to everything, and make sure you do that, because from what I've heard, if you can get this, especially the rare going, this will give you the biggest increase in your CP. But these are gonna be hard to do. It's a lot of work, right? It's a big grind. It's been fun for me, so the more we get into it, we'll see. We'll see what it's gonna be like at in-game all the time. So let's go over to our soul stones. Soul stones, stay on top of these right away. You can up them, you can remove them right here. We can remove them from this gear, so don't worry about it. Just keep increasing them, and then you can remove them at any time to add them into any new gear you get. Now the gear I've got on my champion right now is from story mode. This is all from Chapter 5 story mode. Everybody gets the same kind of gear. It's been fine for me. Now we'll go back to soul stones, but let me also talk about the books here. These books that you get to increase your skills on here, the first time you do it from level 1 to level 2, it's always a 100% chance to take. But anytime after that you do it, anytime after that you do it, there's a high failure rate. And here it is. Okay, there's a very high failure rate, and you can see a rank 4, I'm at a +180 attack. That's very, very good. Now this cannot be transferred over, so once you've used it, it's gone. And these books can sell for a lot of actual coin here. Gems, red gems, if you wanted to sell them in the market, and I'll show you how to get these. It was actually very easy for me to farm a lot of these, but you do want to do whatever gear you know you're going to sit with for a while, level it up. Again, the first one is free, and then I've got attack speed of +5 here on this one at 4. But then after that, there's a high failure rate, but when you do succeed, you can jump up. It won't just go from 1 to 2. It can. It'll always go from 1 to 2, but then from 2, it can go to 3, 4, or 5. It can actually jump up some ranks there from a book, but there's a high failure rate. It's going to take you quite a few books to do that. But do it. It will increase your CP. You can see here what they'll all do. It's a pretty big jump on some of these. This one isn't as much just resistance on here for it, but still good stuff to do. Make sure you do that for your main gear that you're using, because now that I have 180 attack on here, 330 accuracy on there, the stage 4 is really good. I'm not even going to try to push for stage 5 because I know I'm going to get more gear. Now how I got all these was going to the abyss. You go over here to the abyss, and all I did is run around and fight the epic champions, like the bigger champions. I didn't go fight the actual boss here, this girl. I just went around and fought everything that was an epic champion, and it was on this one. It was on this one right here, and I got about 10 books throughout that hour or more, the hour I was in there. But you can see that if you want to get gems, these are selling in the market for 77 gems. So if you're free to play, obviously you can get there. The biggest thing is this entry fee. To enter for 20 gems, you don't need to do that. All you have to do is hit Bard location, go to the Bard location wherever you're at, run over to it, and you get to go in for free, for coin, like 20 20,000 coin or 3,000 or whatever it is, but don't pay that fee. Whatever you do, do not pay that gym cost to get in there. Just run over to it. It's crazy. I don't even know why they have that there to trick people, because you wouldn't know that you can just go to the bar location. So just run to the bar location, go around, kill all the epics that are in there, and you will get this. Really good to do, because you need those. That will increase your CP. Use that on your gear. Plus, if you want those gems, you can sell it, right? Sell it for 77 gems. I think that's amazing. I had 10 earlier. I thought about selling some of them, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try to enhance some of my gear. Now that I have it where it's at, I'll probably start stockpiling every day. And then once I have a good amount, I'll start selling them on the market, right? We'll go over here to the trading post and we'll start selling them to other players. We'll get that going. All right, the other thing we need to do in the game, we were talking about soul stones. So use your soul stones, level them up as much as possible. Just keep leveling all your extra ones. Up and up and up and up. You just keep doing it, because once you have, I don't know if new gear will have 3 or 4 slots, but these are the main ones. So I just keep leveling them up. And as I said before in my previous video, I like doing this one the most because you get additional bag weight so you can carry more things. So I'm going to do this one first. Plus you get attack, right? You can't beat attack and bag weight together. So this will be the next one I'm going to try to level up, which I did recently and I failed. Once you get here, you won't fail up to this point. But once you're here and you try to increase these even more, I'm going to the wrong part, growth. Yes. Once I tried to increase this even more, it was, I got a failure. The first time I tried to do it was this morning and I got a failure on it. So do those as well. Now we're going to go over here too. That was the Abyss we talked about to get books, and we get everything else in the Abyss as well. You can see we're going to get our soul shards, but these drop everywhere. We're going to get books. We get additional experience. So do the Abyss daily, right? You go in here to do your demons daily, and your demons I'm not a big fan of, but it's where you get the majority. You also get a lot of black octopus coins, but you get a chance to get good accessories. It's all about the accessories for demon. And then of course, along with that, you're going to get things to increase your, make sure you're always imprinting to increase this imprint. I did save these stones so you could see this is basic, you know that, but everything you do will give your imprint stones. And then after this, I've seen somebody at end game that had all these filled out. You need tons and tons of coin to try to bring it to a higher level. Like even though these are closed out like this, you'll be able to bring it up to a higher level. So you're not done, guys. You're not done once you complete even that final circle. You have to keep upping it and upping it and upping it. Okay, the next thing is, I think this is the last thing, Lunatra. So when you go in here, I saw people go here. Yeah, do your region bosses as well. You need these, right? You need the gear. Do your region bosses. Anytime you get that purple gear, it's gonna jump your CP up a crazy amount. But remember, keep this gear. Keep the gear you have, because even though you get new gear, the problem with the new gear, this is a story gear, and we can take it up to +5 without breaking. We can't actually bring it up any higher. The problem with all that other purple gear that you get, once you bring it up to, like, it'll say guaranteed to +3 or 2 or something, and then once you bring it up, or maybe it'll say 4 and 5 for purple, but when you try to bring it up any further, if you fail, the gear gets destroyed. Totally disappears. So you're gonna, for the rest of your life, you're gonna have to have a backup set, like your main set like this. And you can always, again, you can always take your stones out, no problem. Then you're gonna try to get, maybe if I get a +6 one day, I'll keep the +6, and then I'll keep rolling on a +7, because the gear is gonna break and fail. And then if I get a +7, I'll keep the +7. It's gonna be a long cycle of trying to make your gear better and better, because you're gonna fail on it when you try to bring it up on some of that other gear. I haven't seen that other gear yet, but I know that's what happens. I've seen some purple gear that I've had, and I've failed, and you can do it with you know, rare gear as well. You'll see it on there, and that's a big thing for here for the items sets as well. For these much higher ones, like to get this +9, there's going to be so many failures to even get that. So eventually, when you do get it, it's going to be really sweet to put it in here and get those increases. So when you go into here, when you go in, again, do not teleport, do not pay the entry fee. Just go to the dimensional gate wherever it's at, and you won't have to pay that cost. But what you do, this is kind of like, I call this like the hard mode, right? This is where you go into alternate zones. It's really just, it's not those servers. You're not really jumping into those servers. You're kind of just going into a harder dimension where everything's kind of like elite bosses in there. And you can go in there solo. I've been in there doing some battles. I was fighting some of these orcs or whatnot, I think here. But when you do the bosses are hard, especially the higher power bosses. They're kind of like mini world region bosses. So when you go in there and you go in there with a group, what you're going to want to do is go in with your guild, go in with your friends. When you go in there, you're going to see little numbers from what server you're on. You're not going to see anybody else. Don't worry. You're not going to interact with the other servers. Like I said, you're going into like kind of your own little It's not your own instance. There can be, there's other people there for sure, but it's just like a new region with the epic and elite bosses. When you fight those bosses, and I've seen people fight them, you're gonna need a group of 10 or even more. So you'll have a little icon that'll have your number of where you're from. For ours, we're on Evelyn 4, so we're gonna have a little 4 next to our group. Everybody that's in there from there, we'll all group up, maybe like a group of 10 or more, and then you fight these bosses, and you get amazing rewards. So you're gonna wanna do that as well, and you're gonna wanna go over here and farm and get all these great things, right? And then also keep up with anything you do with your blacksmithing, your alchemy, and your polishing, right? Make sure you're always farming resources to keep that up so that you can make your own gear, so that you get stats from that as well. Anything, again, anything you up in this game will give you an increase in CP, will give you a stat increase in something. Attack, defense, crit resist, all that kind of stuff. Some kind of increase. So just make sure you stay on top of it all. But so far, that's what I've noticed. And with the story mode, oh, one last thing. With the story mode, if you're going through the story mode and you're having issues getting it done, you want to make sure that you finish out story, you get all the good stuff from there, the main story mode. Just go in here, this main story mode. That's where you get all the good stuff. Right, there's chapter 5. If you're having any problems whatsoever, just make sure you buy these purple pots, because these pots you can use outside, and then you can face tank stuff for the most part. If you need to run and kite and get your health back a little bit, you can do that as well. Run around in a little small circle, kite, because when you go into story mode, you're going to fight these bosses that are personal instances. You can't bring in help, so you're going to do it all by yourself. But if you get the regular pots, right, you can use these on top of with the regular pots. Instantly recovers 500 HP, cannot auto use, but you can spam it every 3 seconds, along with it will automatically spam this one as well. So you just sit there and you just keep spamming it, spam, and try to face tank them or run around, get your health back, and then just beat them down as you can. So anybody should be able to beat story mode, even if it's difficult for you, by buying these pots. And then if you need to, if you're taking too much damage, run around a little bit, get some HP back, face tank it, and fight as much as you can, then run around and do it again, and you'll be able to beat story mode. So just go through story mode, get all that gear, should be easy for you. If we've missed anything, please let me know in the comments below. We want to get better, right? We all want to get better. So let us know the tips and tricks or anything out there for us to get our CP up faster. We would appreciate it. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys all on a video soon.